Like AOC was on TV the other day doing an interview, and she was saying, she was calling them undocumented people, and the way to do it is to give them a path to citizenship. Well, how about you know who the fuck they are?
The comedian who once openly praised AOC has now completely changed his stance. He's done a full 180, openly calling her out for ideas he believes are out of touch and unrealistic and no longer connected to real life. The shift surprised a lot of people, especially since he used to defend her so passionately. But now, he's raising the alarm louder than ever.
You are going to this ball where all they do is celebrate extravagance and wealth, and you have a dress that says tax the rich. Like, what are you doing? Like, that dress is preposterous posing.
But Rogan didn't stop at basic criticism. He went much deeper, making it clear that, in his view, AOC has no realistic shot at becoming president under the Democratic Party. He didn't just question her chances, he practically shut the idea down before it could even take off.
Here's the thing. First of all, you've got incompetent use of funds. Like,
where does the money go?
Exactly.
All our tax, where does it go?
This idea that if you tax the rich, that all of a sudden all the problems will stop existing. That is so silly. You still have incompetent people that are distributing the money. They'll just create more jobs. There'll be more red tape.
And we get more in
bureaucrats.
debt.
Yeah. What we got to do is figure out a real plan for engineering our civilization better.
We've got every detail and twist coming up. But before we dive into the drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss moments like this. The story moves fast, and every second matters in what's about to be revealed.
One of my favorite interviews was when AOC was talking to that lady and she asked her to expand.
About Israel-Palestine?
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Well, I believe absolutely in Israel's right to exist.
She just collapsed into herself?
It's literally like a fifth grader that didn't study.
Looked at that incident more through just as an incident.
And then they ask you about the subject, or you didn't read the book. Well, it's about Billy and his dog.
What people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is...
But the crazy thing about that interview is that, so her first comment comes off with like total authority.
I am a proponent of a two-state solution.
One little follow-up question. The question's like, well, what do you mean by that? And then you just see her get weaker and weaker.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
But what do you mean about that? It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
And she literally goes, I'm really not the expert.
Do you think you can expand on that?
I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
She just gave up.
Joe Rogan has clearly hit his breaking point with AOC, and lately he's not holding back at all. He's been going after her for the same familiar woke ideas and the unrealistic solutions she keeps pushing for real-world problems. One of the biggest examples is her stance against a border wall while promoting a wide-open border approach where anyone could walk in and get documented like it's some kind of VIP guest list. It sounds hard to believe, right? Rogan thought so too. I'll show you the clip where he completely breaks down her claims. But first, here's AOC in her own words explaining her version of a dream world border policy.
From all parts of the political spectrum, one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to immigration is the fact that we have an undocumented population. Now, you can fix that by trying to build a wall, or you can fix that by trying to document people and create a path to citizenship. We'll have folks that might say, look at these systems, that our shelter system has weight and things like that. But one of the reasons that our public systems experience weight is because people don't have a documented and reliable path to work and sustain themselves, just like all of our ancestors did and our grandparents. And
when Rogan heard AOC's take on immigration, it pushed him to his limit, and his reaction was explosive. He broke down her statement line by line, calling it polished talk and political theater that sounds compassionate but offers no real solutions. As soon as he finished, social media lit up. Rogan didn't just criticize her, he completely tore apart her argument, leaving no room for spin or confusion. For many, it felt like the wake-up call they'd been waiting for, and the intensity of his response made one thing clear. He wasn't holding back.
Like AOC was on TV the other day doing an interview, and she was saying, she was calling them undocumented people, and the way to do it is to give them a path to citizenship. Well, how about you know who the fuck they are? Because if you're a person from another country, say if you're in Europe and you want to come to America and become an American citizen, you're an architect or whatever, this is like a long, lengthy process. And they only take a certain amount of people every year. And you have to prove that you have a skill. There's a reason why you should be here legally.
Joe Rogan's verbal takedown was nothing short of powerful, hitting harder with every point he made. He laid bare how weak and unrealistic AOC's open border idea really is, showing how it follows the same feel-good plans often pushed by the woke left. Ideas that sound nice but end up making real problems worse. Rogan pointed out a clear reality. If qualified Europeans and even some North Americans have to struggle through endless steps to become US citizens, why should South Americans get an easier path? It was already a strong argument. But what he said next hit even harder and left a lasting impression.
But if you want to do it illegally, they'll give you money. They'll give you a cell phone. There's people in Mexico. What they're doing is, this is pretty wild because there's a radio station in San Diego that is a Mexican radio station. This guy was on the Mexican radio station, is explaining how we do it. He's like, he's gone back 4 times that month. So every time he crosses over, he gets $2,000.
He's gaming it.
So he's gaming. He made $8,000 in a month from the federal government.
So you can see this goes far beyond one weak policy. It points to a system being openly manipulated. While almost no one in power admits it, millions of Americans struggle just to pay their taxes, while others quietly slip through the cracks, taking advantage of a system that was never built to protect the country, but to win political points instead. This isn't compassion, it's chaos wrapped in polished woke branding. And here's the twist. When hypocrisy on the left gets exposed, AOC's name somehow stays off the list, as if she's untouchable and above criticism. But Rogan pulls the curtain back even further, exposing the clear double standard she operates under. And he does it with a level of clarity that's impossible to ignore.
AOC is the one that says he's the most unintelligent person she's ever met.
Did she really say that?
She really said that.
Wow.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met.
Wow. She used to own a Tesla car. Damn, she don't own a Tesla anymore.
Do you see now why so many critics think an AOC Sanders ticket would struggle, just like Kamala Harris did? It's because they all come from the same mindset, driven more by ideology than real results. Take AOC, for example. She's claimed that Elon Musk, one of the most successful innovators in the world, somehow lacks intelligence, simply because he doesn't repeat her talking points. In her view, agreeing with her is the only way to be considered smart, and disagreeing instantly makes you a fool. That's exactly why Rogan is calling her out and exposing this pattern so loudly. And remember her big tax the rich moment? It came wrapped in a level of hypocrisy you really have to see to believe.
Did you see Kevin O'Leary talking about on CNN?
AOC, I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I buy her t-shirts for $39.95, tax the rich. They're very popular in Miami Beach. She has an 82% margin on that, proving that inside of every socialist is a capitalist trying to get out.
Rogan kept the pressure on AOC without letting up for a single moment, making his frustration impossible to miss. He pointed out what he sees as her self-serving way of measuring intelligence, a system that praises only her allies and anyone who repeats her views, while dismissing anyone who disagrees. In her world, agreeing with her makes you a genius, but questioning her instantly marks you as uninformed. In the next clip, you'll see Rogan lay it all out with sharp clarity, and you can hear the irritation in his voice as he responds to AOC's bold claim about Elon Musk. This wasn't just a simple disagreement, it was a full-on reality check, exposing the inflated confidence behind her statements and shining a much-needed spotlight on the issue.
This other thing about Elon. Elon's going to steal everybody's money. He has $400 billion. I'm telling you, he's not going to steal your money. I'm telling you, that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is, he's a super genius that's been fucked with. Okay? And when you've been fucked with by these nitwits that hide behind 3-letter agencies, and you're dealing with one of the smartest people alive, and he helps Donald Trump get in office, and he goes, I want to find out what kind of corruption is really around. Well, you fucked up. You fucked up and picked the wrong psychopath on the spectrum, because he's going to hunt you down. He's going to find out what's going on. And that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this. Like, wow, we have a brilliant mind that is examining these really fucking corrupt and goofy systems. and bringing in a bunch of psychopath wizards.
Yeah, well, AOC is the one that says he's the most unintelligent person she's ever met.
Did she really say that?
She really said that.
Wow, I want to meet her friends. They're probably cool. Imagine the conversation you'd have with her friends. If he's the most unintelligent person she's ever met, wow, her friends must be amazing. I want to go to one of those parties. It's probably just like fascinating person after fascinating person.
But Rogan didn't stop there. He turned up the heat when an old video resurfaced showing AOC at a luxurious star-studded gala, the kind of exclusive event where the richest figures flaunt their influence and style. Rogan immediately pointed out the contradiction. How can someone who claims to fight for the working class spend the evening surrounded by elites, wearing a designer gown worth more than many people make in a month? It was political theater dressed up as activism. That night, AOC wasn't challenging the establishment, she was blending right in. The message was impossible to ignore. Criticize wealth on stage, yet celebrate it behind velvet ropes. Rogan, always quick to spot hypocrisy, called it out directly. And what he said next made his view on her double act crystal clear.
You are going to this ball where all they do is celebrate extravagance and wealth. And you have a dress that says tax the rich. Like, what are you doing? Like, that dress is preposterous posing.
And then she was asked the next day because she got trashed for it. I don't know if you saw the pushback she got, and she came back and said, all you people that are saying, you know, well, you're making $175 a year to many people in America, you're rich. I'm not talking about people like me. I'm not rich. I'm talking about people that are worth in the hundreds of millions of dollars and the people that are worth billions. It's always the person that's slightly richer than you that's rich.
Not only did Rogan call out AOC's hypocrisy, but he also went after what he sees as her lack of real intellectual grounding, something he believes is often hidden behind her loud delivery and dramatic confidence. According to Rogan, AOC seems to think that speaking fast, forcefully, and with certainty will make people believe she's the most informed voice in any conversation. But when you look past the polished clips and rehearsed outrage, he argues there's a surprising lack of depth in her statements. Rogan didn't just poke small holes in her image, he tore the whole facade apart piece by piece, showing just how fragile it really is. And once you hear what he says next, it's almost impossible to view her carefully crafted persona the same way again.
He was trying to explain what they were, RICO crimes, and she was saying RICO is not a crime.
I saw
it's
this.
a category of crime. Like, okay.
RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is the
It's a category
crime?
of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
a long 100
You
list.
have charges.
It's so dumb to say that publicly, like, and say it with confidence to tell a person.
That's the thing. The marriage of ineptitude and high self-esteem is
it's
really the
funny.
marker of our time.
Sir, please
Want me to name the exact statute
Sir,
under RICO?
yes.
Oh, well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir, I reclaim my time.
lawyers that
I
went to
reclaim
law
my
school.
time. I
I'll leave
reclaim
it
my
up-
time.
At this point, it's hard to imagine a more embarrassing moment for any public figure, especially someone in Congress. If I were AOC, I'd stop acting like the most knowledgeable voice in every room and start focusing on the basics she keeps stumbling over. This wasn't just a minor slip-up, it was a shocking blunder. Not knowing that RICO refers to a type of crime isn't a small oversight. It's a huge red flag that raises serious questions about her preparedness. RICO has been central to major criminal cases for decades, and for a lawmaker to be unaware of it is deeply concerning. This isn't just ignorance, it's irresponsibility. When someone so eager to shape national policy doesn't understand core legal terms, it becomes a full-blown credibility crisis. If AOC wants to be taken seriously, she has a long road of learning ahead.
You got to start from a place. Put it like this. I don't know if you heard of this Green Deal where they want to take 70% of anyone that makes over $10 million, 70% of their income.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Good luck,
It's the dumbest thing ever.
That's AOC, right? Is that her idea?
It's the dumbest thing ever, right?
I don't mean, I wasn't calling her a bitch when I said that.
I like her.
I was
but
saying good luck, bitch, as a expression.
Yes.
I like her too.
I like her. But
I don't agree with her with that, but I like her.
But what I'm saying is my friend was like, oh, you know, if the Democrats win, that's going to get passed because we hate rich people.
And that really gets to the heart of AOC's political approach. She uses resentment toward the wealthy as a driving force, rather than creating plans that actually help people. Her ideas aren't meant to lift anyone up. They're designed to pull others down. It's not about creating opportunity, it's about punishment. The focus becomes dragging successful people into her ideological camp and taking away what they've built. Her proposal to tax the wealthy at 70% isn't just extreme, it's economically suffocating. Policies like that don't grow a nation. They push innovators away, drain opportunities, and threaten the system that keeps the American economy alive. That's why critics don't just disagree with her, they question her motives. When ideas start to feel like sabotage, people have every right to wonder whether she's helping America or quietly trying to dismantle it, one radical policy at a time.
Here's the thing. First of all, you've got incompetent use of funds. Like,
where does the money go?
Exactly.
All our tax, where does it go?
This idea that if you tax the rich, that all of a sudden all the problems will stop existing. That is so silly. You still have incompetent people that are distributing the money. They'll just create more jobs. There'll be more red tape.
And we get more in
bureaucrats.
debt.
Yeah. What we got to do is figure out a real plan for engineering our civilization better.
And here's the hard truth. Taxing the rich won't solve anything if the money is just wasted. And that's exactly what keeps happening. Under President Biden, government spending has soared to record levels. In 2023 alone, the federal deficit hit $1.70 trillion, and the national debt passed $33 trillion, the highest in U.S. history. Inflation stayed stubborn, basic services struggled, and major infrastructure issues remained unresolved. The real problem isn't that wealthy Americans aren't paying enough, it's that the government keeps mismanaging the trillions it already has. No tax hike will ever be enough if the system handling it refuses to act responsibly. Flashy slogans and dramatic outrage can't hide the truth anymore. AOC's politics, built on division, resentment, and catchy lines, are being exposed bit by bit. Rogan just held up a mirror, and what stared back was hypocrisy, confusion, and misplaced priorities.